Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to show the analysis of Reddit, which I usually do to improve my speaking and writing, and of course, my set of ideas. Yeah. So today's topic is going to be about homeschooling. Yeah. Like it's about for those of you who are against homeschooling, what are your reasons for being against homeschooling? Yeah. So let's copy this one. Let's use this one. I think that this topic would be a little bit unfamiliar in our Uzbekistan because I understand that everyone, like literally everyone, studies in local schools and private schools. So homeschooling does not really exist in Uzbekistan. So when I talk about homeschooling to my students, they usually get a little bit surprised, and that's totally okay. Okay, and let's pick a little bit more comments. So yeah, this one. Tuck. Our second comment is here as well. This one. Tuck. Let's pick from here. Well, I think that's more than enough. So let's get started. So our question is about. Yep. So our question is about homeschooling. So for those of you who are against homeschooling, what are your reasons for being against homeschooling? Like I can pick probably a chunk that is have reasons for being against homeschooling. Yeah, I can say, well, whenever I have a question in speaking part one or part three, it's probably going to be in part three. I may answer by saying, well, I've got two reasons for being against homeschooling. Yeah, that's a good one. Have reasons for being against something. We can probably steal this Scrum structure. So the next one, I'm not actively against homeschooling. Let's do like this. Yep. So to be actively against something, yeah, to be actively against something. I would say I am not like to be, it's to be actively against something, against, let's say, noun, yeah. For example, in part three, let's say you've got a question. What do you think about the integration of AI to the education system? You're going to say, well, I'm not actively against the integration of AI because it is already a great tool and we cannot resist it, you can say. And the next one, so I don't campaign against. I like this one as well, but I'm not really sure about its meaning. Campaign against, to campaign against something. Let's go through this one as well. So let's use this one. To campaign against something. Meaning, let's see. To organize, to carry out a series of planned like protests or public awareness or to oppose. That's a beautiful chunk, to campaign against them, like to strongly oppose To strongly oppose someone or something and encourage others to do the same, to fight against someone or something. Well, that's a good one. We can probably take it like doing protests, yeah, just like the Google gave. They don't like it. The- Okay. Yep, now it's okay. So to campaign against something, you see, like to organize, to carry out series of planet activities, to oppose, yeah, to actively oppose something, or berate those who do. Berate like fight, yeah. I probably think it's fight. We don't have any paraphrasing options. Okay, let's see from here. I'm here, Samandar. That's great. That's great, Mr. Samandar. I'm glad to see you here. So, we've got one candidate on the live chat. That's good. I'm sorry, not Samandar. I was looking for the word berate. Yeah, berate meaning. Let's go to this one. Scold or criticize. Ah, I see. You see, scold, sukmo. In Uzbek, yeah, we have scold or criticize. I like the words. It's cool. The rate. I probably have seen it in reading passages, but I do not really remember its translation. This one. So yeah. And what else do we have? But I do have a general distaste toward this. You see, beautiful chunk again. Have a general distaste towards something. Have a general distaste distaste towards something. Yeah. For example, again, like you can use it in IELTS speaking part one and part three, or like in whatever part of the speaking exam by saying, let's say you've got a question. Speaking part one, what are the advantages and disadvantages of um like do you think not this one. I don't think we can use it in speaking part one. Um can we? For example, let's say we've got a question. Do you think uniforms are important? Or do you wear uniforms at school? And I can say, well, I don't really have a nah. I can say I have a general distaste towards it. I think we can in speaking part one, but let's be double sure and ask ChatGPT to do the job for us. Let me ask the question. Can I use it in IELTS speaking parts one and three? Let's see. How about rules in part one? Yeah, probably. Yes, you can have a general distaste towards in IELTS speaking, but you should know when it sounds natural and when it sounds too formal. Part one is everyday conversational. Have it sounds too formal. I was thinking about it as well. Um, okay, I get it. In speaking part three, more precise and abstract vocabulary is acceptable and can sound sophisticated if used naturally. Why do some people avoid using public transport? Some people have a general distaste towards crowded places. Now I get it. It's good. It's great. This one works. You see, this is a solid answer, and it looks solid, perfect. So yeah, I think that's enough. Let's get back to what we have here. And yeah, you see, like we learned a lot from this little comments, which is amazing. Yeah. So we've got this one. Let's continue. Or another comments, which is from the same person. Tak, okay. Tak. Okay, I know resources exist for homeschoolers to use so that they can still cover the mandatory topics. Like a lot of people do not know how to use the words, how to use the expression so that less can. For example, I can make up a sentence by saying, I am I'm doing Reddit analysis so that I can pick up so that I can pick up some new chunks and ideas, yeah. مرة نسقل تكون in order to then could have a bit more natural because majority like many people use it in their daily conversations. They can still cover the mandatory topics. Well, cover the mandatory topics is a great chunk, honestly. You see, this is a chunk that is advanced and natural at the same time. Cover the mandatory topics. So the word mandatory means like the regulatory, yeah, something as a must. Cover the required topics. You can say, do you study at school? For example, if you have a question, um, yeah, I do study at school. Nah, no, no. I don't think we can do it in speaking part one because a bit difficult, a bit too formal. In speaking part three, we are doing a great job, I think. For example, let's say let's go through the topic of education, and if we have a question that asks, what do you think about the university education here in Uzbekistan? I know that probably we don't have such questions, but still, and we can answer by saying, we usually cover the mandatory topics because the others, like as we think, maybe a little bit a waste of time. So we do our own research at home. But still, I couldn't really provide a nicer example. So let's use our little friend, yeah. Teachers need to go over all the required topic before students take the final exam. Show me how to use it in speaking part three. Do you think teachers should follow a strict curriculum? And in most cases, yes. You see, like I like that. I like how ChatGPT provides its answers. It's not it's not beating around the bush. It's not coming like from here, but it's being direct. In most cases, yes. Okay, just answering the question, yeah. Teachers need to go over all the required topics so students don't miss essential knowledge, but at the same time, they should have some flexibility to adapt lessons to students' interests. You see, adapt lessons to students' interests, that's also a great vocabulary to make lessons suitable for students' level and their interests, yeah. So that's great. Do a decent job with it. Do a decent job with something. Like to do a nice job, to do well with something. Let's go through this one as well. Do a decent job with something. To do something reasonably well and satisfactorily. قناة درجة دي عشق ليك. Tak. So do you think online courses are effective? I think some platforms do a decent job with delivering basic content. I love it, but still I can replace real classroom interaction. Let's continue. So do a decent job with something. And but that only covers the absolute basics. Cover the absolute basics. Absolute tools نعم فعلا سيبولا مثلا I'm an absolute beginner. I'm an absolute something. We will see some examples as well. Uh, show me how to use absolute with with something else, with other with others. Yeah, let's see. So the most essential and fundamental things in many rural areas, clean water is an absolute necessity, yet it's still not guaranteed. For many governments, improving healthcare has become an absolute priority after recent crisis. An absolute minimum, yeah. Some companies only pay the absolute minimum wage, which makes it difficult for workers to support their families. Artists need a certain level of absolute freedom to express their ideas without censorship, without being stopped, yeah. So I honestly like the word absolute because it honestly looks solid. So the word absolute. And any enrichment beyond that is from a sole source. Enrichment, like further information, yeah. Beyond that is from a sole source, from only one source. Having a new teacher every year means a new person with new hobbies, new humor, and various other traits which can be learned from or about. Okay, that's great. Let's go through the next one. So, yep, here we are. But my major one is in indoctrination. Indoctrination. I was honestly looking out for this word yesterday, and it honestly, you know, talked me pretty much. Indoctrination. Yeah, indoctrination. So the indoctrination is like the process of teaching a person or a group to accept a set of beliefs uncritically. Singdirish. Endi bu o'zbekcha tushuntirmoqchiman buni, chunki o'zimga ham sal a bit, it's gonna be a bit confusing to explain it in English. I can do so, but still use it. Let's use Uzbek now. Hop, indoctrination degani biror bir o'quvchiga, biror bir odamga o'zini fikrini singdirishlik. Misol uchun bittasi keladi, yo bunaqa tema bunaqa bo'lmaydi. U unaqa deb o'zini fikrini tushuntiradi. Bittasi keladi deb buni boshqacha tushuntiradi. Shunaqa qilib unda bolada confusing bo'ladi. Hamma narsa o'zgarib ketaveradi. Undan o'rgangan narslarini unga solishtiradida, bunday qarasa yemayapti. Bir-biriga qarama-qarshi chiqib qoldi. O'sha narsa bilan bolani chalg'itib qo'yadi, deyapti. Like in English, it's going to be indoctrination is when a group of teachers, when different kinds of teachers come to a child and they start teaching. Let's say every year there's a new teacher. Every month there's a new teacher. So that creates a situation where a child gets confused because of many options. Somebody comes and says this, and the other one comes and says the opposite. So in that case, a child not being conscious of what's happening around him totally may have some severe problems. Yeah. So let's continue. Indoctrination is a nice vocabulary, honestly. So many cases in which I hear about homeschooling involve forcing a very specific worldview on children. Involve forcing a very specific worldview on children. Bolalarga biror bir dunyoqarashni majburlab o'rgatishlik, yes. Cutting the options so severely for a child rubs me wrong. Okay. Let's analyze this one a little bit more in detail. Cutting the options, limiting the options, probably, yeah. And rubs me wrong. I don't get it. Limiting someone's choices, yeah, I told this one. So rubs me wrong, like is the understandable but sounds incomplete. Rubs me the wrong way. Something irritates, bothers, and feels unfair. Oh, I see. I see. Cut the options, limits the number of choices someone has. And this one rubs me wrong. It means makes me irritated. Daħla mhix ħarada dotta. Yep. Samandar, your sentence is probably correct. And I do hope, I mean, this is a solid one when we are going to use, emphasizing, we want to emphasize specific idea. I guess I do hope that many people who homeschool do not do this, but I also know that unless you are very specifically working to avoid it, then the default, I mean, that's podcast language, that's native language, you know. Default is like something that happens without your control, okay? Like in a program, yeah, as programmed. Then default is then the thing that is obviously going to happen, like without your control, for your child is to only view the world through the eyes of the parents if they homeschool. You see, um, this one. So the default is something that happens without your control. Control. So, yep, let's continue. Okay, let's do this way. I would prefer to live in a world where children are given the skills of skepticism, particularly of their own beliefs. Okay, I would prefer to do something that's good as well. In a world where children are given the skills of skepticism, yes, are given the where children are given the skills of skepticism, like having some doubts in something, particularly on their own beliefs, not cynicism towards others. Cynicism, criticism, beadaplik, üyetsizlik. Oh, interesting. They believe that people are only interested in themselves and are not sincere. He's often been accused of cynicism in his attitude towards politics. beadaplik again. Not cynicism towards others, humility and curiosity. شنو عايز أقول شيء ده. This is important to a scientific understanding than memorizing thousands of vocab words. So I didn't realize what was science was until I was what science was until I was 21. This is more important to a scientific understanding than memorizing thousands of vocab words. I don't really get what he wanted to mean here. I get it, I get the main idea, but I don't really understand the whole meaning. So let's use ChatGPT. I don't get it. Explain. So I prefer to live in a world where children learn healthy skepticism, the ability to question things or think critically. But this skepticism should be directed mainly at their own beliefs, not attacking or doubting other people. Ah, I see. Like not cynicism towards others means not at attacking or doubting other people. Children should also learn humility, being aware that they might be wrong. Ah, okay, and curiosity, wanting to explore and understand things. In short, so they want to be raised to think clearly, question themselves, stay open-minded, and stay curious. Okay, this is more important to a scientific understanding than memorizing thousands of vocab words. Okay. Understanding science, knowing lots of terminology, it's thinking like a scientist. So instead of memorizing thousands of words, they have to understand what science is. Yeah. I didn't really realize what science was until I was 21. Okay, I get this one. So science is not about memorizing information. It's about thinking critically, questioning yourself, staying humble, and being curious. Children should learn this skill from a young age. Now I get it. Now I get it. Now I get what the writer wanted to say. Okay, and then we can use this. We can copy this one. I didn't realize what something was until I was. Okay, so let's continue. Without good vocabulary skills, can we be skeptical of our own beliefs? Be skeptical of something? So let's get back. To, can human beings think of things situation if they do not know the words to describe those things? Well, that's a good question. Um, so as a high school science teacher, I view it rather negatively. You see, as somebody, I view it as rather negatively, as most of my students who have transferred from homeschool to my high school are horribly behind in math and science. You see, to be horribly behind in something. I can say I was horribly behind in math and science when I was a fifth grader. Okay. And yep, so there's a lot to read as well here. Like spellers, but can string a paragraph together. They'll be amazing solve at equation, but crap at applying to a word problem. Like crap at something. Like I want to say it. Let's go through this one. It's a crap at something. And slang. Okay, a crap at drawing, crap at cooking. To cook's real bad. Okay, I get it now. Possible but not recommended. Not too formal and slightly rude. Okay, okay. Don't use it, don't use it. I get it. Let alone, there's also great vocab, social dynamics. So there's a lot to learn, yeah. So we've learned pretty much a lot of vocabulary from this one, and you can learn as well. So everyone, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all.